Hey, what's up guys? This is Austin Shadow here and welcome back to another video. We're going back to baseball as the off season has been going on for a good amount of time and I have finally had time to make a video. I was going to make a prediction video for the Cardinals off season, but never found the time for it. I'll sum it up. I thought the Cardinals were going to get Josh Donaldson, um, and I thought they were going to get a reliever like Zach Britton or Andrew Miller. It was a pretty simple offseason. I didn't think they were going to do anything crazy. I was hoping they'd sign Harper. Still doesn't look like that's going to be the case. But the Cardinals have made moves from the 5th all the way to the 21st, which was yesterday. So I'm going to be making a video on what they've done so far. I also want to say something. I will talk about other trades and signings if you guys want them. So if there's any specific trades or signings you want me to talk about, comment it down below. I'm getting the Cardinals stuff out of the way now. The Reds and Dodgers made a big trade yesterday. The Mets have made some big trades. The Nationals. There's plenty to talk about, so if you guys want me to talk about them, I will take suggestions. But right now I'm doing the Cardinals. Here is their transactions in the last month, less than a month. So we're going to go over the three main ones. First one happened December 5th. Cardinals traded Luke Weaver, Andy Young, and Carson Kelly, and future considerations like I think a draft pick for Paul Goldschmidt. I really like this trade along with a lot of Cardinal fans. Some people say the Diamondbacks got fleeced. I wouldn't necessarily say that because Luke Weaver has a high ceiling. Struggled last year, but he's still very young. Kelly never got a chance. Andy Young was very good in Double A. And then they get a draft pick, not sure which one. And we get Paul Goldschmidt. Only issue with Goldie is he's only got 1 year in his contract. But if you're looking at 2019 alone, this guy is a 6-time All-Star. He's been in MVP votings multiple times. He came in second twice. He was 6th in 2018. Silver Sluggers, Gold Gloves, if I haven't said that. He's one of the best first basemen. He's definitely top 3. The only one I might say is better is Joey Votto and maybe Freddie Freeman. But he's definitely one of the best out there. Like I said, the Cardinals traded Weaver, Kelly, Young. Nothing crazy, but for 1 year, Goldschmidt, I think it's a fair trade for both sides. I don't think the Cardinals fleeced Arizona like people are saying. I like the trade for Arizona too, but Goldie helps slide him into the 2 or 3 hole. He gets on. It would be great for Ozuna, who needs to bounce back. He can drive in multiple. He can drive in 100 if need be. If guys get on like Carpenter, and I don't know where he's going to hit, they could place him at second or third in the lineup, but he's a great first baseman. Finally, a guy who can potentially carry this team as he really carried Arizona along with Martinez back in 2017 for Arizona. So, I don't know. I like the trade. I think it's going to help the Cardinals massively. I hope they can bring him back after this season, but if you're looking at 2019, great trade. Have no problems with it. The next move came December 10th. This move means nothing because they claimed Ryan Maysinger, sorry, off the waivers from Baltimore. They recently just designated him for assignment, so that move doesn't mean much. But the 11th is when the Cardinals made another big move when they traded Patrick Wisdom for Drew Robinson, who is a very versatile. He can play everywhere except like first and catcher. Pretty good defensively. He's got some speed. He's a left-handed bat, which the Cardinals need. He's got a good amount of power. Didn't show much last season, though. He's only hit 3 homers, hit under 200, but he's a good defensive player. He's a left-handed bat, so the Cardinals are really banking on him. I really don't like this trade for the Cardinals, but at the same time, I understand it. Patrick Wisdom had nowhere to play here. I think it's a great addition for the Rangers as Adrian Beltre is retired, and they recently traded Jurickson Profar, so Wisdom might get a chance to play every day. So I really like this for Texas and Wisdom. I get why the Cardinals did it. Robinson looks okay. I'm not a big fan of him, but I guess he'll do the job. He's still fairly young. He's only 26, but not the biggest fan of this trade. And then here, this happened yesterday. They designated Maysinger, who I just mentioned they claimed. They designated him because the Cardinals signed Andrew Miller, who also... I'm conflicted with this move as well, as Miller is 33, will be 34 in May. And he was on the disabled list 3 times in 2018. So his numbers weren't that good, as I'm going to go to the active roster. He does not have a number currently. but he had some issues last season, as his numbers, they weren't horrible compared to what the rest of the Cardinals bullpen has been, but the stats weren't great. You probably can't see the stats because it's kind of cut off, but I'll read them off. As he had a 2-4 record with a 4.24 ERA in 37 games pitched, 34 innings, 45 strikeouts, and he did save 2 games. His WHIP was 1.38, not great either. So Miller last season was not great, but it was injuries that really slowed him down. Only problem is age doesn't really help that situation. But if Miller is good and on his A game, he is one of the best pitchers in the game, as his ERA the previous 4 seasons were around 2. And he was great with Cleveland, was good with New York. He was so good that New York got Jesus Sheffield and Clint Frazier out of him. 2 really good prospects. Recently traded Sheffield for Paxton. But yeah, Miller brought back a great return. As for the contract, though, he has a full no-trade clause, so the Cardinals cannot trade him unless Miller gives them permission. But it is a 2-year deal, $25 million, and he's got a vesting option for a 3rd year. I think it's an innings requirement. I think it's like 110 over the first 2 years. If he gets through that, the 3rd year comes in. I do think the money is a little high for a guy who could be hurt. But if healthy, Andrew Miller can be one of the best relievers in the game and definitely the best lefty in the game. I think it's a great setup man for Hicks if they're really going for him. Better than any other lefty we have in here, Webb, Cecil, Shreve. The only other lefty I think in the 40-man roster I can't wait to see is Genesis Cabrera, one of the players they got in the Tommy Pham trade, who I mentioned when I made the Tommy Pham video. But yeah, those are the 3 moves. I really like the Goldie one. On the fence about the Miller one, and the Drew Robinson one, I get, not the biggest fan of it. Now the Cardinals subtractions, I'll talk about them. I already mentioned Kelly had no room, was backed up by Molina. They do need a backup catcher. The Cardinals only have Molina on the 40-man. I would like Drew Butera, but they're talking about like Rene Rivera. Maybe bring back Francisco Pena. I don't really care for the backup much, but especially with Andrew Kisner on his way up to the bigs, maybe by 2019. Probably will be the backup. Maybe when Yachty retires, he'll be the starting catcher. But yeah, Kelly had no room. We have a lot of starters, so Weaver didn't really have any room, plus just didn't have a great 2018. Andy Young is 24 years old with the Cardinals crowded in the field already. The Cardinals also got, I think they lost Greg Garcia to the waiver claim, which not a big deal, which is why they got Drew Robinson. So yeah, the Cardinals offseason so far has been pretty good. They didn't really lose anyone to the Rule 5. They lost Chris Ellis. They added Lane Thomas to the 40-man along with Ramon Urias, Cabrera, and a guy I'm really excited to see in Ryan Helsley, the Triple H. The trio here could be great in that bullpen. I think the Cardinals might be the NL Central favorites if the season started today, due to the Cubs' biggest move so far, signing Daniel Descalso. Well, I'm not going to lie, I kind of wanted them to bring him back, the Cardinals to bring him back. The Brewers have made some moves. They got Ben Gamel and Alex Claudio, but nothing huge. Really, other than the Cardinals, the team that made the most moves in the Central is the Reds, who made a big move yesterday, which I'll talk about if you guys want me to. They also acquired Tanner Rourke, but the move yesterday, they got Puig, Kemp, Alex Wood, and Kyle Farmer. I'll talk about it if you guys want me to. But yeah, I think the Cardinals, as of now, would be the favorites, but I think they'll be more of a wild card contender. I don't know if I look at this team and say, oh, this team's a World Series team. A lot of things have to come into play, like Ozuna's going to have a big year. Fowler's going to have to bounce back big time. Carpenter, I want to see a higher average and less power. DeYoung needs to stay healthy. Goldschmidt hasn't had many injury issues in the past, but if he gets hurt, that could really mess us up. Jerko or Martinez could be traded. I'm more in favor of trading Jed Jerko, but Martinez could potentially bring something back. Ramon Urias, I will say this now, I'm really excited to see what he can bring. And then Colton Wong's our Gold Glove second baseman. And as for pitching, who knows what's going to happen with Reyes. I really hope he becomes a starter, but rotation does look filled if they want to start Gomber, which I wouldn't be against because he's the only lefty starter we have. But there also is other guys competing for a rotation spot like John Gant, and Adam Wainwright. Who knows where he's going to pitch? But the bullpen looks better with Miller. You got Brevia, Hicks. Fortunately, Cecil, Miller, Gallegos could be a potential guy they use in the pen. Ponce de Leon, Mike Myers. So they got plenty of options. I like where the team's at. I would still love to get Bryce Harper, but the odds of them getting Harper are extremely low. And yeah, that's all I really have to talk about. They also, coach-wise, they brought up Stubby Clapp to be the first base coach. They also got Jeff Albert to be the hitting coach. And they moved Oliver Marmol to bench coach. So not many changes to the coaching staff, but I do like the ones that they did make. And that's all really have to say for this video. I like the Goldie trade. Fine with the Miller signing, and I guess I'll deal with the Robinson signing. But that's all I really have to say. If the Cardinals make any more moves, I'll make a full off-season video when the off-season ends for them. Once again, if there's any other suggestions like the Dodger-Reds trade you want me to talk about, I have opinions on those. But yeah, that's it for the Cardinals. Let me know what you guys think of the trades down below and the signing of Andrew Miller. That's all I really have to talk about. Nothing else much. And if you guys like the video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you want to see more, just let me know. That's all I really have to say. Peace out.